Hello, I'm Candia Lee Cole, the Eco-Intelligent Lifestyle Mentor. I've created a timely educational course titled Learn and Teach Nutrition with the Eco-Intelligent Eating Model. If you've never heard of the Eco-Intelligent Eating Model, there's no better time than right now to make an acquaintance with it. Because if you've been relying on the USDA eating model for dietary guidance, as millions of people have been doing for decades, you haven't really been exposed to the kind of honest, propaganda-free nutrition information that you need in order to make wise dietary decisions that have the power to adequately nourish your health and sustain the planet's health too. Are you aware that one of our nation's leading nutrition experts has identified the USDA eating model as inaccurate and misleading? Yep, you heard me right. Dr. Walter Willett, MD, who served as the head professor of epidemiology, nutrition, and medicine at Harvard, was so concerned about the flaws he found within the USDA eating model that he developed an alternative model known as the Healthy Eating Plate. So, what's wrong with the USDA eating model, you might be wondering? As Dr. Willett explained in his book, Eat, Drink, and Be Healthy, the USDA eating model failed for many years to draw a distinction between the good, the bad, and the ugly forms of proteins, carbs, and fats that it recommended we eat. For instance, it told us to eat fats, but it didn't explain the difference between good fats and bad fats. It told us to eat grains, but it didn't spell out the difference between refined grains and whole grains. The USDA eating model also recommended that we consume low-fat dairy products, but it failed to acknowledge two important things. Number one, many nutrition experts believe that full-fat dairy products are healthier than low-fat ones. And number two, millions of people can't even eat dairy products due to lactose intolerance. Although in recent years, the USDA Dietary Guidelines Committee has updated its dairy eating guidelines by suggesting that people with dairy sensitivities consume lactose-free products and supplement with digestive enzymes, what they still haven't done, and might not ever do, is spell out the difference between milk that's made by factory farm cows, which contains drugs and hormones, and milk that's made by pasture-raised cows, which contains sunshine and lots of other good stuff that Mother Nature intended for it to have. One of the reasons why I created the Eco-Intelligent Eating Model is because I wanted to remind modern-day convenience-minded people what our ancestors instinctively knew about food. What they knew is that where food comes from matters, and how food is produced matters when it comes to protecting the health of people and living things. It's not enough, you might agree with me, to be told by the USDA eating model what kinds of foods we should be eating each day to maintain our health, if what it's telling us to eat was grown with toxins and manufactured with additives, or its production hurt the welfare of animals, plants, and living things. For decades, you may or may not know, the producers of conventionally raised meat products have been destroying the planet's rainforests in order to produce beef for the masses. Our rainforests, which are the lungs of the earth, have been ravaged, and so have thousands of life species that call the forest their home. One of the reasons our earth is getting hotter and hotter is because there's a growing shortage of trees. And that's not good, because it's the job of trees to clean carbon-based emissions out of the Earth's atmosphere so they don't get absorbed by our oceans. Domestically speaking, because of our meat-centric diet and the harmful farming practices that are being used to bring it to our dining tables, we are also at risk of losing our nation's topsoil. Now, thankfully, a growing number of people are learning that they can preserve and restore the Earth's soil by eating a more plant-based diet, which, by the way, is a great idea, unless, of course, the plants they're eating are contaminated with pesticides. Has it ever occurred to you that the people who draft the USDA Eating Models Nutrition Guidelines have chosen to act out of ignorance rather than disclose truthful information on their eating model about the importance of farming green and eating clean? The committee who decides the USDA's dietary guidelines, I regret to say, is heavily influenced by political lobbyists who work to protect conventional food industry standards. And sadly, the industry has a long history of putting their own monetary interests first, ahead of the health needs of people on the planet. If this situation bothers you, as it does me, I'm guessing you might not have too much difficulty at all saying goodbye to the USDA eating model and hello to the eco-intelligent eating model. The eco-intelligent eating model, I'm happy to tell you, promotes the value and necessity of farming and eating in a way that works with people and nature versus against them. It teaches you why it's important to grow food organically and support local farmers. It makes your acquaintance with the Earth's first foods, which have sustained the health of cultures around the world for centuries. It provides you with tips that encourage you to recycle food waste and reduce food packaging. It encourages you to save energy in the cooking process and eat in harmony with the seasons. All in all, the eco-intelligent eating model empowers you to stand up for truth in farming and use your food choices to spark a health revolution for this generation and the next. Would you like to learn more about the history of the eco-intelligent eating model? And consider how you might use it to learn about and teach others about eco-conscious nutrition? If you answered yes, I'd like to invite you to join me today in becoming an eco-intelligent eating advocate. My courseware package, I think you'll be pleased to know, includes a rich variety of educational tools that will make your learning journey enjoyable and eye-opening. For starters, you'll get my book, Answering Our Urgent Need to Adopt an Eco-Sustainable Eating Model. This easy-to-read book paints a clear picture of the difference between eco-negligent and eco-intelligent farming practices. Next, you'll get access to my hand-picked assortment of Tabletop Tutors infographics, which illustrate the value of a holistic, integrative approach to farming and eating. My course also includes my crossword puzzle game, Farm Alarm, which challenges you to learn about the hazards of growing and eating genetically modified foods. And last but not least, if you prefer audio learning to visual learning, I think you're going to love the audio series that I've included in my course. My audios share with you the wisdom that I've gained on my life path as a self-healer and eco-mentor about how you can use nature's traditional whole foods to be nourished and to nourish a healthy, loving relationship with the earth. Do you have concerns, as some people do, that you might not be able to afford an organic food lifestyle? If so, please don't be too worried, because I've included my top 10 grocery shopping hacks in my course, which I promise will save you money and serve as an inexpensive form of health insurance. So what do you say? Are you ready to emerge from the dark ages of nutrition education and step into the light ages? If so, I look forward to meeting you in class.